What is going on, folks? You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, and we are on the range. Not going to be shooting. I have been shooting today, but we're not going to shoot during this video because, well, jeez, 9mm prices, man. God, my favorite caliber, too. So, trivia question later on. It's my favorite caliber. You just heard it. And that is my favorite caliber across the board. I like rifles. I have rifles. I see the usefulness of rifles and shotguns. Given my preferences, I would rather go out and shoot 9mm all day long. That's my favorite thing. Whether it's out of a carbine, a full-size rifle, a pistol, I don't care. I love it all. But anyway, I'm not shooting today, but we're going to talk about something. So this is my M&P Shield. This is the 2.0. I do have the first gen one. It is actually, the Shield is the only gun that I own two of. I mean, you could say AR-15s, but they're two very different manufacturers and things like that. One is actually just a Franken rifle. It would take me forever to list the companies that make the parts for it. So M&P Shield is the only gun that I own two of, and the reason for that is I had the first gen. I carried it for a long time, back in the days when I think I had a Maverick 88, a DPMS AR-15, and the M&P Shield version 1, and that was all I could afford, man. So if you guys are in that situation, I've been there, and there's nothing wrong with it. Learn to run the tools that you've got. But anyway, getting off on a tangent. I liked it. I switched to a Glock 19 for a while. The wife took over the M&P Shield 1.0, first gen, whatever. And then I found myself wanting another subcompact for those times when I couldn't. So I was like, I felt the 2.0, liked the grip, got it. Anyway, this was kind of the cat's meow for a long time. I had shot some of the Glock 43s. I shot the 42. I'm not a 380 guy. I actually don't own a single one. And if you are, that's fine for you. I'm not saying it's a terrible cartridge. It's just not me. So I didn't really like any of the Glock offerings. But your Shield was kind of the king of the hill, right? For a single stack subcompact, it was just kind of the go-to. You could get into things like car arms and things like that, but mainstream, you know, you had a 7 or 8 round capacity, and that was that. And it stayed that way for a long time, but now we're kind of seeing a rejuvenation, and have been seeing. I'm always late to the party on these things. The subcompact genre, the subcompact class of firearm is definitely getting some steep competition, and no longer do I consider the M&P Shield king of the hill. Now, this is going to come with a few caveats. I have shot these shields, both of them, have well over 2,000 rounds each through them. I'd say the first gen between my wife and I is probably up around 5,000 rounds. It's been a good gun. This one doesn't have as many rounds, but it still has a lot compared to the other guns that we're going to discuss today that I have out here. So I think it's important to note that I have a lot more experience with this than the others. So keep that in mind. This is not a review. I just kind of wanted, maybe you guys weren't aware of some of the other stuff that came out. Unless you've been under a rock, then you probably are. But anyway, let's go over to the table and discuss what kind of dethroned the venerable M&P 9 Shield. So if you're not familiar with the M&P Shield, here's a close-up. This is with the 8-round mag. I didn't bring any 7-round mags, but they're flush-fitting. You can get little pinky extensions and things like that. It's not a bad gun, and if you have one, I'm not saying you need to upgrade, but if you're in the market for one of these class guns, then I think these other options bear some looking at. So you have 7 or 8 rounds in this size. Now we'll go ahead and start with this one. This is the Springfield Hellcat. Go ahead, this is the flush fitting mag that holds 10 rounds, and they have extended mags for these. I think you can get all the way up to 13 rounds, and that may be with one in the chamber. I just have 2 rounds. This is a loaner gun from my buddy Richie. So we'll go ahead, we'll drop the slide on both of these, and I'll kind of give you a comparison here. And again, this isn't saying that if you own one of these, you immediately need to go buy another gun. That's not how my channel works. So looking at them side by side here, very similar thickness. The Hellcat is just a smidge thicker, but not that much thicker in the grip. So I think that's important. And when you come over here, and all things being equal, if I can get the right camera angle there, we'll line the slides up. The Hellcat's actually a smidge shorter there. So that leaves us with, put the shield in the back for this next one. I haven't done any of this stuff yet, so I'm doing it all for the first time on camera. And again, I think I got them fairly well lined up. And again, a smidge shorter than the shield. 10 rounds here with better sights from the factory. So that's something to think about, and I'm going to do a spec list on each gun here at the end so you can kind of see what's going on. Now, even more intriguing to me, you guys know what this is. Should have already seen the first look video by the time this goes live. The SIG P365. So again, loaned to me by a buddy at work that I am actually going to end up buying from him. But so we'll just put the shield in the background just from the get-go with this one because I already know how this matches up. So you can see there, shield bigger, shield longer, shield narrower by a smidge. Now the narrower, especially down in the grip, because the slide really isn't that much narrower, is not always a good thing, because what I have noticed with the P365 is while all of these guns are somewhat snappy, the P365 seems to do the best job at kind of distributing that recoil over the web of my hand and down into my palm. This is the most comfortable of the three for me to shoot. So there is that, and you do have the option here, this magazine, which you can see there, the extended magazine here, and they do have 15 round mags. I haven't played with those, but this is a 12 round magazine capacity in a gun this size. It's craziness. 10 round magazine with a pinky extension, or you could do my least favorite, I just don't like having my pinky dangle, 10 round mag, flush fitting. So very, very interesting. So which subcompact pistol is going to be best for you? I don't know. I think it's fantastic that the firearms companies continue to innovate and continue to listen to their consumers and pay attention to what it is people value, whether that's capacity, better sights, better ergonomics. I think all of that is really cool, and I think it's great to have options, because the M&P Shield, while I still consider it a very viable option for carry, may not be for everybody. So now with options like the P365, the Hellcat, and miniature micro red dots coming out for those size pistols, I think this is a great time to be a consumer. Now maybe not from the ammo side of things, because it is getting harder and harder to actually shoot these guns, but seeing these options coming out I think is a fantastic thing all the way around for the shooting community, for people that are looking for tools to defend themselves, because it's not a one-size-fits-all proposition. What works for me may not work for you. Actually, I would say it probably doesn't, seeing as how I carry a full-size M9A3 most of the time. But having those options there, just like cars, maybe you want a Nissan Versa and maybe somebody else wants a Power Wagon. It all is subjective. And the more options are out there, the better the needs for individuals who are looking for these self-defense tools, the better those needs are going to be met. So if you have an opinion of those three pistols that I showed you today, the P365, the Springfield Hellcat, or the M&P Shield, which one you prefer and why, or which one you're interested, maybe you haven't tried it yet, drop it in the comments. And if you have any horror stories about these guns, because like I said, I've got a lot of experience with the Shields, not that much with the other two. If you have some insight that you'd like to offer on these guns, feel free to drop those in the comments as well. Help folks out. A lot of folks go through comments looking for knowledge and things like that, so keep it respectful in a pissing contest. What you carry is up to you, and what somebody else carries is up to them. And guys, if you like this video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed, consider doing that. Take care, keep shooting if you can, keep dry firing if you can't, and I'll see you next time.